A blue lagoon, rich emerald greens, red-tiled roofs, a citadel and steeples and spires. Corsica's landscape has always been captivating. This is Balagne, or more precisely Calvi, in the northwest of the island. The sound of singing coming from near the cathedral echoes through the alleyways of the upper town. In keeping with the polyphonic tradition, the Affiletta group are rehearsing in the tiny Saint-Antoine chapel.
These are festival places that have a soul that's obvious. These are places built so that our voices can carry, either by singing or by prayer. These are places particularly suited to this blend of voices. At the foot of the citadel, the beach is a great vantage point from which to admire the scenery.
You can't get bored of this. It's part of life in Calvi. It's part of the life of the people who come here on holiday. We're incredibly lucky to have this view right behind us all the time, with the citadel and Christopher Columbus and all the history. This is the upper part of Calvi. This is the postcard shot of Balagne. It's beautiful.
The origins of Christopher Columbus have long been a cause of conflict between the people of Calvi and the Genoese. But for locals here, there's no doubt. The man who discovered America was one of their own.
Christopher Columbus was not born in Genoa. He was Genoese, but Corsica was under Genoese rule then. But he was born in Calvi.
83-year-old Dominique Bartoli is a local hero. His nickname is Margone, which translates as cormorant because he can devour all sorts of fish, squid and octopus. Eating is one of the mainstays of life in Calvi, and the local speciality is this egg dish.
It's a rustic cuisine. That's characteristic of cooking in Corsica. It's a people's cuisine. There aren't a lot of well-refined dishes that come from this region. Many things are made with local produce by people who love to cook and use seasoning.
This is a traditional tripe dish. It's very simple but very good. You can eat here in a really ordinary way.
The person who watches over Calvi is the town's patron saint, Our Lady of the Serra, whose statue dominates the town and the bay.
It's a must-see, you can't miss it. Many of our children have been baptized here. It's also a meeting place and part of life here. We come here to talk, to gather and to be together with this magnificent view behind us.
I don't know if heaven looks like that, but if it does, we'll sign up tomorrow.
It's a city that draws you in and then holds you here once you've set up home. It's a beautiful place where everyone knows everyone else because there are just 5,000 inhabitants, and we're all here in winter. And in the summer we welcome many more people who come to enjoy this extraordinary view.
Sometimes you just have to get up in the air to understand the beauty of the landscape here.
Okay, so you'll stay facing Calvi, I'm going to look the other way and I'll inflate the sail. When it's above our heads, we're going to move forward to take off.
Stefan Leonetti is a huge fan of paragliding. Every summer he takes tourists up with him to see the Calvi region in a very different way.
When I fly over these villages, they all look like spirals of snails, like in Sant Antonino or Spelunca. It's amazing. When you stroll through them on foot, you don't see that. But when you're above, you see this snail pattern.
It's the end of the day, and we're back in the town centre. Locals have come to relax and enjoy the atmosphere at Chez Taobi, a mythical cabaret venue which is celebrating its 80th birthday.
Nightlife is important in Calvi. Many places get in the party mood. A lot of people come out, of course, and many people often come back here to enjoy this atmosphere, to sing, to clap, and to laugh.
The sound of merrymaking and music vibrates through the streets of Calvi late into the night.